Any updates on Charlie Jones after yesterday?
No, day-to-day with shoulder.
Is he gonna practice today?
No.
Okay. How's Trey Kane through the week so far?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, day-to-day with him, too.
Cheeto, how's he been?
Cheeto's been great, He's been doing the individual stuff. Gets a chance to continue to stack days. He's got a great mindset right now. Again, won't rush him into anything, but very happy with where he's at in the process right now.
To see teams on his, in the way the progress that he's looking, can you see him doing teams in the foreseeable future?
I don't know what the foreseeable future definition is, but I'll just tell you we're going to approach it the right way with him when that time comes.
And then how's Burrow look throughout the week?
Great. Good.
Any updates on when he could be back?
No.
Still several weeks.
Yeah.
As far as
several weeks from when I said it last time.
As far as Charlie Jones, did he get hurt on that catch?
Unknown. It could have been that. It could have hurt it there and then aggravated the next play. So it's kind of that combination.
Sorry.
He was on the play. He was on the field the next play. Yeah.
Zach, Jordan Battle didn't do anything in 11s. Is he dealing with something?
Just some tightness, but he's getting through that. So I think the next couple of days will be better for him.
It was left shoulder, right, Charlie?
It's a shoulder. I don't remember which shoulder it was. Yeah. He would have. Yeah, I'm trying to picture which shoulder. It would have been his left one as he pulled through.
Right.
Yesterday's practice was obviously physical and long. Was that by design, coming off the day off and then easing back? And we kind of do that next week a little bit too.
No, that was meant to be our longest day we've had so far. A lot more unscripted call-up periods where now we've installed everything. Guys need to react to the play in the huddle and not kind of know what the script is beforehand. That was good work. It was good competitive work because, there was a score. We were playing the red zone lockout, so there was scoring at stake. So that was a good competitive day. We got a lot of good reps in there. Today will be a good practice, but it won't be quite as long in terms of the team reps. More third down work. And then next week, we get 2 more great days in. One of those will be a special teams-based practice primarily, similar to what we did last year, and then we practice against Green Bay.
How encouraged are you with just the football plays that we all saw yesterday?
Yeah, I think that's what stood out was it wasn't necessarily one side beating the other. It was guys making great plays. You saw a lot of I thought it was a good battle up front, by the front 7 of the defense and the guys on offense. And then down the field, receivers made some great plays and tight end, and the DBs were right there in phase with them, and they were really well-thrown balls. There was some high-level execution in terms of checks by the quarterbacks and reactions by both defense checking the check. And so yesterday was a good practice for us. We got a lot of good work done and got to continue to build off that today in another good padded practice.
To follow up, is that what you expected this time with making those plays both sides of the ball?
Yeah, I think we got a lot of good players, and to see young guys, there were a lot of young guys yesterday that stepped up and made those plays. That's encouraging to see guys play with that confidence right now.
We obviously saw Trenton make the catch of the day yesterday.
Yeah.
What is it about his game, his style, his preparation that has impressed you over all of your time here?
Yeah, it starts with his preparation and just again how he takes care of himself. How you see him in here days off all spring, all summer, all days off during the season, working on staying sharp. He's running in the turf, taking care of his body. He's a guy that I think approaches life the right way and makes the most of his opportunities and a guy that's really easy to pull for.
We saw him make a couple of big plays last year, 2 touchdowns against the Patriots.
Yeah.
Came up big, obviously 3 starts in the playoffs. What does that tell you about his ability not to let the moment get too big?
Because he's prepared himself for the moment. So I think the guys that hope to be in a moment and then they are hopeful that they're going to make the play, it doesn't work that way. You have to prepare for the moment, and then when the moment comes to you, it's second nature, and that's really Trenton to a T. He's prepared his whole life for these opportunities, and so there's a lot of stories that are told about him by the public, and the media loves him, but he's prepared for those moments all along, and so when he gets in there, the person who's surprised the least is Trent Irwin. And then probably the second least surprise is Joe Burrow because he's worked with them and seen that he's ready for those moments. And so I think he's just a great example of a guy who's put in the work and made the most of his opportunities when they came because they didn't come for several years. He had to be patient, and I'm sure deep down there's a lot of frustration, and he never showed that to us.
What have you seen from Chris Evans throughout offseason workouts coming into this and then so far in the camp?
Yeah, he's had a good approach this camp, and I think continuing to sharpen all the skills that we need from him. He had a good pass protection rep yesterday on a D lineman. He even some balls that didn't go his way in the route session. I thought he did a good job being detailed with what we want from him. So there's been a lot of good things that he's done over the last several days that just continue to stack that.
And then go back to Burrow, even though he cannot, he's still kind of doing that rehab process. What does his day-to-day look like when he's in here? How is he kind of preparing for the season? Even though he's not on.
He does everything the team does, and the difference is he's in here with Joey during practice sometimes and doing his workouts then.
Is there any update on Travion?
No, Travion's more week to week right now with the ankle, so I wouldn't say he's expected back this week. I'd say it's more week to week with him.
With Lou, with Trevor Burks, and all the vets you have in the quarterback room, like kind of what makes it a good environment for some young corners to take a jump like Cam has or hit the ground running like Northeast has?
Yeah, because our vets are guys that would help those guys as well, And so I think that's just a really good room top to bottom in terms of how they push each other and are willing to help each other. And that's going to be critical for the depth of that room because, as you know, you need a lot of DBs, and it's important those guys all are up to the task. And so it's a really good room top to bottom with the coaches you mentioned and then all those players.
I know you planned out training camp like a while ago. You have every day planned out. But over how long a period of time has it been where you thought about, I'm going to step on the gas here, back off here a little bit? The players rave about how your schedule really helps them recover and take care of their bodies. How long a period of time did that take you?
Through the first game, through the Green Bay game, and then after that we'll recalibrate what we need to do, because at that point it becomes different than years past, where the games maybe fall on different dates and you get more practices. So, that was what I was just doing just now was. Starting to get ready for the week after the Packers game and just get some ideas down, and we'll iron that out. But for the most part, training camp, we're ready up to the first preseason game.
How different is Zac Taylor's training camp this year from where it was at last year?
Well, it's a different probably perspective for him. It's not what position am I going to get the most reps at? Because the first day of pads last year, he was taking one-on-one reps as a corner, a lot of times, and so now you get a chance just to focus in on the safety position and being a guy we're counting on, and so it's a different perspective in year two for him, and so again, just continue to improve, and that's what his mindset has been.
How much different is it, Zach, to evaluate safeties in camp as opposed to corners?
Less coverage action sometimes, so you can watch an entire period and they're doing their job. Maybe the opportunities don't come to them, whereas corners get featured a lot more. They're in a lot more one-on-one situations, and so if you're trying to make an evaluation of somebody over the course of one period, you probably have a better chance of knowing a little bit more about a corner. And but again, that's not taking away the value of the safeties. Their action comes to them, and that's why it would be hard. I probably couldn't do it. You're back there and you're backpedaling, you're waiting on a play, and then all of a sudden a big play comes at you and you got to be ready, you can't fall asleep. And that's where you see the discipline really show up of guys like Nick Scott, these veterans that know that, Mike Thomas, and those are things that I think the young guys are doing a good job of honing in on.
Is that where preseason games can really help with joint practice?
Yeah.
Wednesday can really
Sure, when we're actually hitting, and so a lot of times the backs are getting slowed up by the front seven. Whether it was a tackle or not is unknown until you get into a game. That's where safeties really get to step up and make their presence felt. I thought Dax Hill had a great tackle yesterday on Chris Evans. He really came up and was in space. It was a one-on-one for a touchdown and the short yardage drill, and Dax came up and made a nice tackle. So that was our only live drill we've done so far. So those safeties are going to get their moments in the preseason games for sure.
Zach, we talked a couple days before training camp about the daunting idea of you made it as far as you made it in the last 2 years of starting over again, but you thought the team still had an edge about it. Mm-hmm. Now you've seen training camp for a week plus. Have they delivered?
Yeah, I thought you saw that yesterday. In the final period, it was competitive, and you could see the competitive juices flowing, and that's good. We need to continue to interject that with some of the work that we're doing competitively and have things on the line and get people to picture themselves in a game environment as best you can in practice. And I thought yesterday's Red Zone Lockout did that, and those are things we'll get next week, Wednesday against Green Bay. We'll get it again Friday against Green Bay. and then we'll get in these preseason games after that.
How was the offensive line lifting camp so far?
Good. I think there's been really good things as a unit. I think there's been really good individual things. It's been a good group top to bottom. I think I mentioned that in my last press conference. I think it's just top to bottom in terms of getting really good reps as a unit. I've been really pleased with that group.
Individually, what have you seen from Joe? Obviously switching positions coming
Yeah,
out.
I don't think you would have known that, if you didn't know his background and you were just showing up and, you just saw my right tackle. He looks natural. He's done a great job playing that. You wouldn't have noticed, man, this guy hasn't played right tackle in a long time. He's done a good job, hit the ground running there.
Is the plan to still split reps within the Jackson?
Yeah, we'll just continue to take it day to day at this point, and if we need to make a decision, at some point we will, but right now it's been splitting.
What's your favorite period to watch during practice?
I don't really get to watch the periods I have to call, so I watch it after the fact, but I think the short yardage period yesterday is a fun one to see because it's at the forefront. You need a yard to go, and to see guys different positions step up, tight ends, receivers have to get engaged and block, backs have to finish the runs. You get to see the linebackers fit up, you get to see safeties come up and make plays, and that was a fun period yesterday.
Are those, when you see those kind of game situations occur in the season, you kind of flash back to campus? Does that happen at all when you think about stuff?
You're getting primed for those moments. You don't get a lot of reps, a lot of full speed reps on some maybe critical short yardage plays, especially during a game week. It's not something you get to do live against the scout team. It's just not the same. So you got to maximize those opportunities you get in training camp when you're against another defense. Now they might play a different style of defense than we're going to see, but it's hard during the season to manufacture real short yardage goal line reps. So we try our best to get that during training camp.
Now that you've had a few days, not many padded days, but you've had some days to
It's not Forrest Gregg short yardage goal line drills, but we try to do our best.
when you've had a chance to evaluate your veterans and draft picks, as advertised, even better than advertised, you're pretty happy with what you got?
Yeah, really, really good group. I'm going to be really hesitant to praise them on August 4th too much, but I think that they've approached it the right way. They've got really good personalities. They're fitting in really well. And, so again, there's things that we're going to want to see them sustain this over the next couple weeks as we really start playing games and they get a ton of reps. That's the thing right now. We haven't, our drives have 7, 8 plays is kind of the length that we've started, and that's all on purpose. We'll start to expand that as the next week goes. But you're going to get in these games, and there's going to be 12, 14 play drives, and that's over the next week. We got to get these guys ready for that, and that's where you'll start to see guys show up or not.
At this stage of camp, was it always the plan to start to move Miles around a little bit and see how he works?
Well, I'm not going to get too far into that, but yeah.
So that was just the plan.
Yeah.
What's the process of communication like with the Packers to plan out everything you guys want to get accomplished the day you have together on the practice field?
LaFleur and I talked about the Reds and the Brewers for about 20 minutes, and then where we'll go eat, and then we got the faces nailed down. But it's good. It's Matt and I have talked probably 3 or 4 times since the springtime to get it all ironed out, and then Callie will talk to Joe Barry, and so Lou will talk to Matt. So you get it these next 2 days. We'll get it ironed out. Darren and Rich Bisaccia have talked, and so you start to get it aligned. About a month in advance, and then a week in advance, you realize, okay, it's upon us. Let's get it all nailed down. But we feel like we've got a good plan in place, and a team that we got a lot of respect for, their coaching staff and their players, and so it'll be exciting when that day comes to get a chance to work on that. And we still have 2 big days in front of us that we need to take care of some things to make sure that we're ready for when Green Bay comes to town.
Just a couple more, please.
Getting back to the rookie class, 2 of the late picks, Yossi Bosch and Ivy,
Yep.
seemingly have made a lot of plays every day. Has that stood out a little bit?
Yeah.
Watch the tape.
Yep. Andre made the big play to end practice yesterday, and DJ Ivy's shown up a lot, making a lot of plays on the ball and taking away plays that maybe we thought were going to be there in some one-on-one situations. He's done a good job. So I think you ask about those 2. I could give those examples of a lot of the rookies that we have so far, and so it's been a good class that's started out the right way. And again, it's just about sustaining and being disciplined, with their daily routines. It's only 2 weeks in, and it's a long season, and so that's the biggest thing that we've really harped on to those guys is this is just the infancy stages of this season, and you got to be built to last, to be able to make it here.
Big weekend for the organization.
Yeah.
In Canton. What's your thoughts on Ken Riley?
Yeah, we talked about this as a team yesterday. Showed some highlights of Ken Riley, and 65 career interceptions is just like unfathomable, which is what, 4th or 5th all time, and so unfortunate that it took this long, but I think it'll be cool to see Barbara and Ken up there on the stage, getting a chance to take in that moment as a family with all their other family members, and so. It's really cool that it's happening, and I'll certainly be tuning in to be able to watch the ceremony.